This video will show how easy it is to migrate an existing VMware-based virtual machine into an HC3 environment. We can see in our virtual center client here, the virtual machine is running. It's called DT Source, has a 40 gig hard drive, 1 CPU. We're going to log in and let you see some of the applications that are configured here. It is running a web server. We'll take a look at the configuration. We can see it's called DT Source. We'll take a look through the web server configuration. There's a little application called Timestamp that just logs timestamps to a file. Could be simulating a database. In this case, we'll take a look at the default website and actually log in and show you that it's operational on DT Source. Just serving up a simple background and image. Also on DT Source, we've already installed the double take availability software, so it's all set and ready to go. So now on the HC3 system, we've used a clone in this case. We've taken a Windows image that already had double take installed. We've cloned it to house the virtual machine that we want to replicate. We go ahead and edit the resources so that they match the requirements of this. In this case, 1 CPU and 4 gigabytes of RAM. We're going to go ahead and start this up. And we'll take a quick look once it boots. You can see that it's currently called DT Target, and it's got the double take availability software already loaded in this case. So logging in, we'll take a look. We can see that this is currently called DT Target, and none of the applications are configured. It's just a plain Windows installation. It does have the HC3 availability software loaded into it. It doesn't have to be a member of the domain. It's just a container. So now we're going to go into our double take management console. We want to set up, in this case, a double take availability job. We're going to protect the entire Windows server. We're going to pick DT Source as our source machine and DT Target as our target machine, but we're going to select the full server to be replicated. So the entire C drive, if you had data drives, I'd select those as well. Select those to be replicated to DT Target. There's a few settings here that I may want to change. The main one is that I want to manually initiate the switchover process. This is not a normal failover configuration. I'm basically using the continuous replication and failover capabilities to fail over into the HC3 VM, but I do not intend to fail back, so I don't need to retain the target or switch back reverse protection, so I can disable reverse protection because I'm not going to fail back to the original machine. If I had multiple network settings, I can go ahead and configure those however I need. And those are the main settings here. I'm going to initiate the failover manually. It's going to check that everything's okay. And this is a very time-compressed process. We edited this out of the video. The data is going to be sent across and synchronized, both the original data as well as any changes. And so this is what allows me to let users continue operating on the production server during this entire process. I get all the data synchronized, and depending on the amount of data, that could take, an hour or multiple hours if it's a large amount of data. Once everything is synchronized, at this point I'm ready to, whenever I'm comfortable, go ahead and begin the switchover process. So all the data is synchronized. I'm going to go ahead and do this now. I'm going to perform a failover to live data. Anything that's sitting in queue or last minute changes, I want to transmit and apply before I do the switchover. And basically at this point, it's going to shut down the production server, flush any data, last minute changes that are waiting out of that. Begin the failover process on the target, which is pretty much going through and taking applications, taking the registry from the source machine, all the things that make it unique, apply those to the target machine. It's going to do that and basically shut it down and reboot it into the new recovered environment. And as we'll see here in a second, it's going to come up and have all the same properties, same name, identity, application, same service packs as my original production machine, except it's now running on the HC3 system. So you can see it's now called DT Source. That's running on the HC3 product. We'll go ahead and just verify several of our applications, our web server, and so forth. It's now completely identical to that VMware environment, except it's now running on the HC3 system. For this demonstration, we did use the HC3 availability product, which is powered by Double Take availability. We could also have done this using the Double Take Move product, which is pretty much the same workflow. The difference there is that it is licensed for one-time use to basically migrate one virtual machine, and so you would purchase a Move license for every virtual machine that you want to migrate. With the availability product, you can use it to migrate multiple virtual machines, and then you can continue to use it after the fact to provide continuous low recovery time objective replication and failover of your HC3 VMs between multiple HC3 systems or even back to other types of environments.